Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Um, Let me know if you can hear me and let me know if my music is bleeding through or not. If it is, I'll stop it. If it isn't, I'll listen to the music in the background. But anyway, welcome everyone. My name is Peter, and today I'll be looking at Backstage. So if you've been on my YouTube channel, you might have noticed that I've been doing like weekend streams on Saturdays, focusing on AI stuff. And I really enjoy doing that because it gives me a dedicated time to learn about different tools and tech. So I figured I should be doing something that's not necessarily AI focused. So here we are. If you haven't watched any of those, just to give you an idea how this works, I haven't really prepared for this, so this will be like me going to the website, going through the docs, trying to set it up, trying to learn about it. I'll try to take notes as well. I like to learn by trying things, so I'll be trying as many things as I can practically instead of just reading through stuff. Um, so if you're looking for like a pre-prepared and polished presentation about Backstage, this is not going to be it. So if you have questions, feel free to ask questions. However, I can't promise you that I'll be able to answer them yet, but it would be great to get any questions. Also, if you've used Backstage before, or you're using it right now, or you're looked into it before, let me know as well. And maybe you can help me out with understanding what it is and how it works. And thanks, Arco, for confirming that my audio is going through and my music isn't. So that's good to know. All right, so let me switch to my screen sharing, if I can find the right one. There you go. All right, so I went to the website, so backstage.io, that's where the site is, and I'll put this in the comments. It's a fairly simple URL to remember anyway. So backstage.io, this is what I'll be going through. I have my notes on the right, so I'll take some notes as I go through this. All right, so let's get started. So what is Backstage? So Backstage is an open source framework for building developer portals. So what are developer portals? So looks like it's powered by centralized software catalog. It restores order to your infra and enables your product teams to ship high quality code quickly without compromising autonomy. All right, so this looks good. Speed paradox. So this tool is done by Spotify. So they've always believed in the speed and ingenuity, having autonomous development teams. Yes, the faster you grow, the more fragmented and complex your software ecosystem becomes, and then everything slows down again. I definitely agree with that. So by centralizing your services and standardizing your tooling, so Backstage streamlines your development environment from end to end. So instead of restricting autonomy, um, of the dev teams and developers, I'm assuming, standardization frees your engineers from infrastructure complexity. So you can return to building and scaling quickly and safely. That makes sense. So let the developers worry about developing an application and business logic and stuff, and hide, I guess, standardize, right? Infrastructure complexity, so they don't have to worry about it. All right. So software, what is the software catalog? So build an ecosystem, not a wilderness. So it allows you to manage all your software all in one place. So it makes it easy for a team to manage 10 services, makes it possible for your company to manage thousands of them. So it gives you a uniform overview. So you can see the services, the teams can see the services they own, and any related resources to it. So any deployments, data, pipelines, pull requests. Okay. So here's a screenshot. Hopefully we'll see this in the demo. So services, okay, so you can do a view and say here and take a look at the services that specific team owns. What is the name of the service, the system that it belongs to, the status of it, description, and tags, and I guess actions. These seem like links there, but we'll see. Metadata. So all the information that can be shared with plugins. All right, so this first mention of plugins. Um, inside Backstage to enable other management features like resource monitoring and testing. So from what I lied a little bit. I did look at Backstage a while back. So there is a concept of plugins that you can then just add to the UI. So it's not just services, libraries, websites, ML models, you name it. Backstage knows all about it, including who owns it, dependencies, and more. No more orphan software hiding. So basically, allows you to catalog the stuff and the infrastructure and the services that you have, whatever those are. Creates a uniform, a single point of entry from what I gathered from this. And then you can set up ownership, I guess, and know exactly what each team owns. But then also probably set up some hierarchy, because I think there was a mention of dependencies somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Right. So who owns it? What are the dependencies and more? Which is really nice. Like assuming you own a service and you want to make a change or add something or whatever, knowing what all the dependencies are and or who owns those dependencies potentially makes it easier, right? So you don't have to hunt people down. So learn more about the software catalog standards that set you free. Standards can set you free. So templates, you can spin up new microservices with the best practices. All right, so it looks like you can create like a service from there, and I think that would probably then tie into whatever infrastructure you're using. So I'm going to be talking about Kubernetes. That's what I'm most familiar with. So I'll go with that. But I'm assuming is if you have Kubernetes clusters, your infra team can come up with templates, deployment YAML, service YAML, whatever it is. Uh, and then the developers can use those when they want to deploy their services. But hopefully we'll see that. Build your own software templates. Okay. Docs, Backstage Tech Docs. All right, so there's like a docs portion to it as well, I guess. Yeah. Search platform. Tech Docs software. All right, so it's a software catalog, docs, and then plugins, right? And then you can search through them. All right, so manage your services, not cluster. So there's something specific to Kubernetes. Oh, there's a Kubernetes plugin that they're explicitly calling out here. The first Kubernetes monitoring tool designed around the needs of service owners, not cluster admins. Aggregated view, no logs, CLI. All right, this sounds tempting. I'll probably try this. Customize. All right, so plugins are the way to customize that. App Store for your infrastructure. That sounds good. So if you have your own product, I guess you could create your own plugins as well. Yep. Add functionality, bring your own plugins, simply build your own. Curious if we can build one in less than an hour, but we'll see. Build internal plugins lets you tailor your version of Backstage to be perfect fit for your share with community. So there's a list of open source plugins that you can use. That's it. That's the end of the site. So let's go to, we're going to go to docs and we'll start in docs. Okay, so we've done that. Like I'm assuming I read through this as I was reading to the landing page. All right, so software catalog, templates, docs, and plugins. So these are the four things. So software catalog for managing all your software, and templates that allow you to spin up new projects and standardize your tooling, and then docs and plugins. Benefits. All right, so I'm not gonna. It's just the same thing. Architecture overview. All right, so there's a UI component, service catalog. So different plugins. Circle CI. I think these are just different plugins that can be, different plugins that connect to different backends. I think that's what they're showing here, but also the ability to like connect to an outside service, I guess, or external service, whatever you want to call it. So core UI plugins, and their backing services. So these are those, and the databases for those backing services. Containerization, okay. All right, so user interface. All right, so whatever you build is going to show up here as a plugin. They're available on dedicated URLs. Lighthouse plugin, Circle CI, plugins and plugins. So each plugin is a client-side application which mounts itself on the UI. So TypeScript, JavaScript. Make sure you have npm and Node installed. They each live in their own directory in Backstage plugins. Okay, so let's see how this looks like. Oh, so they have everything here in the plugins folder already. Oh, okay. So you can, if I understand correctly, you can basically take with Backstage, you get this core UI, an entry point, if you will, and then you can customize it with these different plugins. I know I'm oversimplifying here, but um, they're installed as React. Okay, so Backstage application. So if you want to run Backstage for your organization, you'll probably create. I'm assuming you're gonna clone the repo and then or they have an installer or something to create your instance of the Backstage application. And then you can basically go and just import these different plugins that you need. These components are extension component. They're regular React components. I don't know how many of you have done React or not. I've done a little bit of React, so I'm not an expert, but I at least can read like TypeScript and React specifically. So there's no config based installed. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. So I can't. So let's say I create my own plugin and I want to share it with people, or I want to have them use my plugin. They'll actually have to go and make code changes because they'll have to do this. So there's no, oh, hey, here's a URL or whatever, and pull the plugin from there and just use it like that, right? Yeah, looks like it. All right, 3 forms of plugins. Maybe I should start taking some notes here, but everything is in the docs. So architecture, 3 forms: standalone, service backed, third party backed. Okay, so standalone, all browser. For example, just renders hard coded information. It doesn't make any API requests to other services. Okay. But it probably does use, right, some data to fill this out. So where is that data coming from? From other, since it's saying it doesn't make any API requests. Oh, maybe it's making API requests to like an external API, not to other services, whatever the services are meant here. So UI, yep, just the plugin. And then there's service backed. So these make API requests to a service which is written within the purview of the organization running Backstage. So there's a Lighthouse plugin that makes requests to the Lighthouse audit service. And this is a service which runs a copy of the. Okay, so this is basically your organization probably has some of the services already running, and if you want to expose or let's say expose data from those services, or call into those services to display them in the plugin, this is the second way to do it. I don't know how exactly is this like architecturally different necessarily, because this is just making a request, an API request to something. So software catalog in Backstage is another example of service backbone. It retrieves the list of services or entities from the Backstage backend. Okay. And then third party back, similar to service back. The main difference is, okay, so stuff is hosted outside. Oh, okay, so that's the Circle CI. So SaaS service, yeah, it's outside. So this basically means if you have your own SaaS or whatever running, you can create a plugin that goes through some proxy and talks to the API to get the information, right? And the proxy is needed because of course. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Maybe you should start with some code. I'm tired of reading this a little bit. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff here. Let's see. Let's do getting started. We'll come back to that, but I just want to get quickly started. So basic. Yep. Yep. npm and or yarn. Yeah. I'm assuming I have all this. I think I do, but we'll quickly see if I don't. So the Backstage will only have demo data. Yep. To install. Okay. So we need npx. So npx is like npm, but instead of downloading and installing the node, so npm is node package manager, right? So instead of downloading the package on your machine, npx allows you to install the, well, it's here. It allows you to run commands from npm or other registries. So Peter is saying if Python is a preference over Golang for you, then React can be frustrating. I don't want to start any language wars, but I all right. So let's say JavaScript / TypeScript, then Python, then Golang. That's the hierarchy for me. However, it all depends on the on what you're trying to do, I guess. Pick the language that works best for whatever you're trying to do, or pick the languages you're most comfortable with. But yeah. All right, so npx. So let's do npx. So let me do let's do Backstage app, right? Just want to create a folder and then I'll run this command. You'll notice that it is in my history because I ran it again at one point. Oh, this will already create a folder for me. So let's do Backstage app, and then we'll do npx. Is there a command that I can copy? This is a screenshot. Where's the command? All right, they need a command. Oh, there it is. All right. So let's run this. All right, so the name of my app will be, let's just call it my app. Okay, so this will pull stuff down. Yep, so I created a my app folder. By the way, if the fonts are too small, let me know. I know that's always one of the things that I forget to do, make the fonts bigger. All right, so this is just installing the packages. So let's see what we'll get. Can I hide this? I can't. So configuration file, catalog entities description, package JSON packages, Lerna leaf packages. What is Lerna? It's a separate package. Oh, Lerna is something. Okay. Fully functioning app that acts as a good starting point, and then backend. Okay. It's a few minutes. Yep, it's still executing the install, but I guess we can start looking at the thing already. Oh, and then we just do npm run or yarn dev or whatever. So let's look at the. So there's the app config. So this is where you configure stuff. So my app, where it's my org, backend. So there is some backend that they run as well. Content security, okay, course. There's a database. Okay, so you can integrate to GitHub. I'm assuming there's other integrations as well, but I don't know what this integration is for. Is it for auth or is it for something else? Proxy, docs. There's separate auth providers, and then catalog information. So catalog info is here. Pull request branch name. Okay. Location. Oh, so it uses like So there's some examples here. So does it use like some template thing that, let's say I have my service in GitHub running in GitHub. Do I have to create like an entity or something to describe that? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, to describe a component, I'm assuming. I think I'm guessing at this point, but I would think if you have like multiple services running in, well, stored in GitHub, I guess. Next, with that source code, you would probably store like um, like something that describes that service. So maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll get to that. All right. So where was I? App config. Yeah. File location, entities, organization data. Add more example data. Oh, example or okay. So that was the app config. So there's the catalog info. Oh, is this how you, or is this just a catalog thing? Anyway, well, there's Lerna. Okay. All right. This has completed now. So let's see. What else do you want to do? So set up software catalog. So I'll open this so we can set it up. And then we can add authentication. I don't know if we can. Yeah, we could, but there's probably more setup that I want to do on this stream for auth, but we'll see. Maybe it isn't. All right, so my app, and then we'll do yarn dev, and this will start the app. There it goes. It already opens up here. So there is something listening on 7007, whatever that is. That's the backend probably. All right, there you go. So we have the company catalog. Uh, uh, there's a website. So let's see, where was this added? This component, right? I'm assuming this component, oh, let me, example website. Let's search for it. There you go. Oh, so that's the entity, right? So that's in examples, right? There's an entity. It's a component, example website, type website, experimental, owners, guest. All right. So if I would do, oh, and then you can point to like an API as well. Look at this. It says provides API. And I think I saw this somewhere. Let's see. Let's search for it. Oh, there you go. So there's a definition of an API as well called example gRPC API with the like the proto file itself. So you can like set up the API. So let's see. Let me click through it and see how it looks like. Okay. So this is all that it generated. I'm assuming from these YAML files here. So there's view source, view tech docs, owners, what is the system type tags, lifecycle. So that was all that said. There's no links, there's no subcomponents, and shows the relationship with. So owner is guests, right? It's part of the example system, and then has an API, which is really nice. Oh, and then I can click on the API. I guess API is another component that shows up. And oh, this is really nice. So if I would do something like, let's try these things already right away. So let's do this. So I'll do not an example website. We'll say my first service, and I don't know if type is a it's like a free form string or if it's something else, but let's do the same thing here. So we're going to add a service that also it's not provided by, well, it could provide a different, so it could provide a different API, right? So we'll do service API, and then we'll copy this one, and we'll call this service API. So it's the same owner, right? And I'll leave this the same here, but I would expect since I do the dev, it should be automatic, right? Let's see. Let's go APIs. I only see one. Let me rerun it again. I think I think it is using these examples to like. I should see another API here, right? There you go. Yeah. Right. So that's the second one, service API that I added, and it automatically, right, tells me that it's provided by my first service component that I've created. Yeah, that's nice. And then, oh, CI/CD. Oh, wow. This is pretty powerful, right? No component is a dependency of this component. Yep. And any resources. All right. So, and then you can do docs for individual things, right? All right. So let's see how we, okay. I mean, let's go back to there's way too many things. I don't want to be like running around. So we ran the app. Uh, we started exploring things. Yes. So let's actually go through it. Components, all components, favorite, edit. You can create more here. Oh, and there's a template here as well. I think I saw the example, Node.js. Yep, there you go. So there's a template created. So this is what controls whatever is there in the UI, I guess. So it's a template with a name, who's owner, what is the type, parameters. All right, so there's like, it's more involved. So let's see how it looks like. I said my Node JS app host. All right, let's do test app. I don't know what this is gonna do, to be honest. Oh, look at that! I have to do something. So when using Node, Scaffolder backend requires that it started with no code snapshot option. All right, so let's do that. So node options equals no node snapshot. See if this makes a difference. But since I haven't set up like GitHub, I don't think this will do anything with GitHub. It might try things, but it won't be able to do anything anyway. So, yep. All right. So create, choose my node app, my node app. All right, create. Yeah, this will probably fail if it's gonna go and yeah, no. All right. Oh wow, it did create this. Oh, maybe because I'm how was it able to create this? Anyway, so it actually does create, and this index JS is whatever is here, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So you can have, if you're using Go or Python or Rust or whatever your language is, you can create different templates for your services. Assuming that's what you want to do, right? I mean, you probably want to do that, right? Because that's the whole point of having like standardized way to create, manage, and like look at your services and all that. So you would create templates, and then this is really nice that it actually like created this in my GitHub. It created as a yeah, probably because my environment I'm set up to with GitHub and everything. All right, so if I open it in catalog, nice. Yeah, so it shows that there's a component. I can view source now because it is in GitHub. And it's owned by this. There's no tags, there's no system, there's no CI/CD. So I probably would have to do create API, dependencies, depends. All right, let's see. Let's go back. All right. So what are the next steps? Configuring things. I think right now is deploying. I'm not going to be deploying it. let's see what's the database. Postgres database. Yeah, we have that. Postgres. Okay, so we don't lose any data. SQL Server. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. Can I run it in like a Docker container instead? Probably could, right? So using credential. Anyone knows of a good free what is this? PostgreSQL thing that I could sign up in like 3 minutes and set it up? I can easily make it work. Uh, uh, let's see if they have. Oh, we can do. Let's do this. Run Postgres in a container. There you go. There's a Docker image for it, right? That's all we need. That should be simple enough. Famous last words. Should be simple enough. All right, so what do I have to do? All right, so let me open another terminal here. And what I'll do is, yep, just run the Postgres DB. And then, oh, I didn't, should probably expose the ports, right? Yeah, I should. What is is there a default Postgres port? Way too many things running. Oh, 5432. All right, so let's do 394, Docker RM 394, and we'll do the same. Let me move this away. There you go. So Docker run, where was it? This guy. So let's run this, but we'll also do 5432, right? 5432. Okay. So this should be exposed. Yeah, it is. 5432. And then if we go back here, this one. So app config. So now we have to go. Let's hide this. Let's go to app config, backend, database. All right, so it is using the one in the memory, the one that's in memory. So what we'll do is, we'll just copy these. And I'll comment this out. And where do we set? Can we set these? Is there like a .env file? There isn't. Does it load? Yeah, let's just, I'm just gonna do export so I don't, but you should probably have that in an environment file. So export Postgres host equals this, right? And then export Postgres. You know what? Let's do this. What is, this is the default user, right? Shouldn't be doing it this way, but go, and I think password was what? My secret password. My secret password. All right. Okay. Anything else? Nope. So let's go back here. We'll yarn dev this one. Hopefully it'll be able to connect. I guess we'll see the errors here right away. Oh, 5. Oh, that's not the right port, right? 5432. It is. Oh, 5432. Of course it's not. There we go. Let's restart again. Oops. All right, so it looks like there's no errors. So I think it was able to connect to the database. So let's do logs 95. let's create something and see. Create. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, let's register an existing. Oh, okay. So if you already have stuff, which I do, you can register it like this. Let's see. Entity file. Oh, so it needs to be entity file. And entity file is it this one? So the component, right? Oh, but it's probably not going to work because that repo is private. Let me make it public. Security. Change visibility, change to public. Yes. Yep. Oh, man. All right. Oh, all right. Let me find my key. uh, there we go. All right. Where were we? It's this one. No, it moved. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't expect to be doing this, but there we go. There you go. All right. We're private now. Let me switch. I only have 2 outputs on my Mac, so my screen changed. All right, we're back now, right? Yeah, we are. Perfect. All right, so this is now public, so this should work if I point to this guy. Right? So let's do this. Register. Okay, analyze. Oh, there you go. So what is it saying? Reading is not allowed. What? You may need to configure an integration. All right. Oh, there it is. Oh, just a repository? All right. That's should be easy enough. So this one. There you go. Perfect. So start tracking. So if you have already an existing component out there in GitHub or wherever, you can add it as well, right? You don't have to create a new one. Yep. Select an owner, guests. Those are the only things. Oh, this is what? Oh, this is if you already have code, I guess. Oops. This is if you already have code and then it's gonna, makes sense. Okay, never mind. Makes sense. So this is if you already have catalog, but I do have catalog info there. Why can't it find it? But it looks like you can add like existing stuff to it as well. And then that would create, yeah, I don't know why it would go and create the catalog info as well, but it looks like this is if you already have a service out there that you can add for it, right? All right, but we have this, and we have running it now with the database, which is good. We just haven't tried if it actually works or not because I don't see anything in the logs, but I'm going to assume it works. It's there. All right. So that was database. So next is setup authentication. Well, maybe we'll go the authentication route. So multiple providers, free. Yeah, you can do GitHub. You have to create an OAuth app. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, let's do that one. That should be simple enough, I guess, right? Oops. I'm going to save the link. Okay, so we'll do an application name. We'll say Backstage tutorial, and then point back to whatever is running locally. Callback. All right, so it's going to be 707. So that's the backend, right? There we go. API auth GitHub. Oh man, handler. It's a typo. Auth GitHub handler frame. Enable. Yeah, not gonna worry about that. So we have that. So client ID, client secret, client ID, And then we have to add these to auth, providers. Oh, you can set up different environments as well. Look at that. Environment, development, GitHub, development, client ID. These should be as environment variables, by the way. And then, let's see. I don't know that it matters if you see what the client secret is, but please don't abuse it. It'll be deleted anyway as soon as I'm done with this. All right, so we have this. And then, all right, so this is a kind of where you actually have to go and change code, but it's all right. So we go to app, packages, app, source app, this guy. And then we find create app. Oops, create app. There you go. And below APIs, add, like here, components. This is where you can then customize different things. There you go, props. And there's a sign-in page that's already created by them. Auto, provider settings. So it's a provider. ID, GitHub, auth, provider, title, GitHub, message, sign in using GitHub. And then API reference is going to be GitHub auth API ref. And I'm missing this and I'm missing this, right? And a comma here. And then we have to import GitHub, this guy, right? Backstage core plugin API. And this, like this, right? And a comma here. All right. So it looks like this should enable GitHub sign in. So let's see. Oh, there you go. Nice. Sign in with a GitHub, and this will probably take me to GitHub. There you go. Yeah, I can authorize it. Boom, I'm signed in. This was pretty painless, I guess, because it's probably one of those things that you'll only do once, right? You're not going to be doing, you don't have to do these constantly, right? All right, so we have the database. We have GitHub auth. It wasn't that bad. I don't know. I always just think like auth stuff used to be complex, but I guess it's not. There's some docs, GitHub integration. So this supports loading catalogs from GitHub or GitHub Enterprise. Registered. Oh, there's more things. Oh, personal access token. Repo. Token. All right, so let's do this as well. Why not? But I'll do the token on another screen. Yeah, so this will then allow us to do whatever I was trying to do like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, then you can register and do whatnot. So creator token. So I'll be doing this off screen just because I think token gives more access to things. But we can also make it so it expires. Yeah, let's make it that it expires like in like an hour. So Backstage tutorial, creator token. All right, so scope. For this tutorial, repo and workflow is required. All right, so let's do, I'm going to select repo, and I'm going to select workflow. Okay, so I have that. I'll create this token. So I have this token, and I'll go here, but I'll do this off screen because I don't necessarily want to, oh, actually, let's set it in the, oh, I can set it in the, I don't even have to do it there. I'll just set it in the, in my terminal. So it'll be read from the environment. That way that thing can stay the same. So I want to copy the token so I don't lose it. All right. All right. So I've set it in my terminal. And this is there. What else? Integrations, GitHub. Looks like I probably had a GitHub token already set at some point, but if you're looking for more productive ways, you can do so. Yeah, okay. All right, so yarn dev. This should have read the token. All right. So what were we trying to do earlier? This, right? So if I go to, where was GitHub? Node app something. Let me see. I'm trying to find my Node app. There it was. This is the repo. So this should work now if I understand things correctly. So, catalog info. Yep. Analyze. All right, that looks nice. So this is if I already had stuff there. Yeah, so let's import it. So we'll have two of them, right? Yep. So this is the second one. So we should have two Node apps. Why is it only one? Did we lose the first one? What? Service API, component, my first service. Oh, this one was the one that we created from code, but this one is the actual one that was from GitHub, right? Yeah. All right, let's go through, see what's next. So we have the authentication. So now we go into the fun part, I'm assuming, where it's configuring the app with the different plugins. So adding existing stuff, we have that. We're using Circle CI. I don't have Circle CI, so I'm not going to add that, but we can find something else. Adding a plugin. All right, so this is, I guess this is from what I've known, what I've went through so far. This seems like the maybe the only drawback so far. Not saying there aren't any others, but it requires code changes, right? This seems like and then I'm assuming if I want to remove the plugin, I'll have to remove it from the code as well. So that's like a little bit of a drawback, but I'm assuming once you set it up, it's fine, and it is fairly straightforward to add plugins, I guess. So I'm not going to add Circle CI, but we're going to add something else. So let's see. So there's a catalog, right? Plugin directory. So let's go through the plugin directory and see. Oh, let's do the Kubernetes one, right? Kubernetes is a plugin as well, right? But it says it's a feature. Oh, let's see. Because I can run it is a Kubernetes plugin. So it's two plugins, plugin Kubernetes and plugin Kubernetes backend. So front end exposes information to the end user in a digestible way while the backend wraps the mechanics. Okay, makes sense. Install the Kubernetes. Perfect. Let's do that. Let's do Kubernetes. Hopefully everyone knows Kubernetes, or at least you've heard of Kubernetes. All right, so let's add that. So current from the Backstage root. So I'll stop running it. So I am in the root folder. So what we'll do is we'll just install this plugin, and this will go into the plugins folder, right? Which right now is empty. I'm assuming it's going to go there, but we'll see. Or maybe not. I thought it would go there, right? Where did it go? Oh, maybe it's just we just installed it, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's no this is where you would add your custom stuff, right? I guess. Or if you wanted to modify them. But let's see. So we have to go to entity page. Let's hide the terminal here. Get more space. And then from here, service entity page. So overview CI/CD APIs. All right, so that's the thing that shows up on the left side, like these things, right? Oh no, it's this overview CI/CD, right? API dependencies. Yep. So let's see, where is it? No, it's this guy. All right. So we're gonna add tab to any number of pages. The service page is shown as an example. Oh, okay, so we can add it to wherever we like, but we'll add it here. Let's add it here. So entity layout. All right, so there's route. So let's put it in the first, like the second one, right? So we have path, and then this is what comes from what we have to import. Yeah, this is the package that we installed. So we have to import it from here. Yep. Okay, and then a refresh property, and then we have to add the backend plugin. So this was just the UI portion, and then the UI, I'm assuming, let's see if we can look into it. This guy. We're not gonna get the source, right? But this one then connects to the backend plugin. So let's add the backend plugin as well. Go. And then, now we go to packages, backend, packages, backend, source, plugins. All right, so there's the auth stuff. So here's where we add the Kubernetes plugin, the backend stuff. So Kubernetes.ts, and then what do we do here? Oh, okay, it's not that complex, I guess. Let's see. So what does it do? Imports. Oh, okay, so it just implements the create plugin interface, I guess. Catalog, Kubernetes builder comes from the Backstage. Yeah, and just passes everything into the whatever the backend does, and then just returns the router type. And this type, what is this one? Router, where's iRouter? It's this guy, right? Yeah. It just allows the UI, I'm assuming, to interact with the plugin and hooks into the plugin. What else? So we added this and import the plugin to backend source index. So this guy. There are 3 lines of code you'll need to add, and they should be added near similar code in your existing. Okay. All right. So let's do import plugins, Kubernetes, and from whatever we just added, right? And then in main, let's do main. Okay, so it's doing Kubernetes environment, use hot memoize. Looks like it's deprecated, right? Yeah. That's fine. It's not supported. Do not use conditional. I don't know what else should I be using instead of it, but we'll use it for now. Module, create environment, Kubernetes. Yep. What is module? Where's that coming from? It's just a node module. I guess it's a way to load it, right? Yeah. And then API router. Just routing. Whenever someone goes to /Kubernetes, we'll load that plugin, right? That's it. All right, that sounded fairly easy. However, we have to probably point it to like which Kubernetes cluster we want to use. So if either existing cluster locators, whatever that is, don't work, it's possible to implement a custom Kubernetes cluster supplier. Let me see. I think I have a cluster running locally, right? Of course I do. Yep. Perfect. I have kind running locally. I don't know how the custom one, what does it do? So this is an array used to determine where to retrieve the valid cluster location. Okay, GKE. Okay, so cluster method gather. So I can create a resource type called Kubernetes cluster, and then that will represent whatever my local cluster or whatever else is. But what is this proxy? This cluster locator method will assume a locally running kubectl proxy process. Oh yeah, let's do that. That might be the easiest way, right? For the demos, of course, you're not going to do this in production. So kubectl proxy. Perfect. So, okay, so these are what the default ones are, right? So it's going to look at, oh, where was it? Now I lost it. Oh, GK, yeah. And this is how you could configure it to, or if neither of these or none of these work, I go back, then you can create your own cluster locator, whatever that is, right? Create plugin, custom cluster supplier, private, sorry, create, refresh. Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Right. And then this in the refresh clusters, this is where you would gather all your clusters running across, running on-prem, running in your clouds, wherever they're running from. Or actually this one. Well, no, refresh clusters, this one, right? If you already have like a catalog or a way to like, if you already have like a catalog of your existing clusters, this is where you would probably have to implement this, I'm assuming. But let's see if I was right or if I was lying. So let's go here and we'll do yarn. Oh, we have to, no, node options. Yeah, whatever. Let's see if this works. So I should see the Kubernetes thing here after the overview, right? But we'll see. There it is. Look at that. Kubernetes. Oh, I'm missing something. You need to add annotation if you want to enable to add the annotation to your component. Okay. All right. So if I would have, let's say I do have stuff deployed in my cluster. So I have the proxy running. So if I would do this, so I have HTTP bin and sleep. So how would we, so let's create, let's go to examples. I'll go here and I'll copy this component and I'll say this is our HTTP bin service, right? And this is a service. We'll leave this as is. It doesn't provide any API. Let's leave it like that for now. But then I also would do name and then in annotations, I would do backstage.io, Kubernetes ID. But what is the value? What is the value here? That's what I don't understand. So Kubernetes ID. Oh, Kubernetes. There's something here. So Kubernetes Backstage tool. Okay, yeah, we did this. Oh, maybe there's some. Oh, there you go. Backend. I think we did. I think I did this, right? Yeah. But we did it with the local, like one of the built-in ones, right? Instead of doing it this way. Yeah, like we did this, right? Or do I have to configure this? Let me see. Type config, type GKE. Is type local kubectl proxy? Is that a type? I see. All right, let's see what else is there. So proxy, no. This is what Kubernetes ID. So let's do local Kubernetes, whatever. Right? I don't know what that ID like. Is that ID of a cluster? I'm assuming it is, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Let's see how it loads. Oh, there you go. Fail to initialize Kubernetes backend. Kubernetes config is missing. Okay, so I do need this. Where was it? I do need this, right? I thought it would just because it says it's a built-in one, right? All right, so let's look for Kubernetes. There's no Kubernetes. So we will add it at the top. Why not? Kubernetes cluster locator methods. If you've done this and if you know how to do it, let me know so I don't, or if you like to watch me suffer, maybe. So there's two clusters here. Maybe I can just do, let's see, type config. I say clusters and URL HTTP 27001, whatever I'm proxying it to, the API. It's like 8001. Name local Kubernetes. Let's do that. I don't think I need anything else, right? So let's do title, my local Kubernetes cluster. And then I need to use this here, I'm assuming, right? Because this is then saying, hey, this component is deployed in that cluster. That's what I'm assuming. Let's go here. Let's restart. Because it looks like the reload is not completely working, maybe. Oh, there you go. Okay, so cluster local has no auth provider configured. This must be specified with the auth provider. Okay, so let's do that. Auth metadata. Let me just do a search for this. If there's like a way to say disable auth, which you probably don't want to do again, but at least in production for sure. Backstage. Okay, so the current which are not the same, the default providers. Okay, so let's see what are the default providers. Kubernetes plugins. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, so it's local kubectl proxy. So that's the provider then, maybe? Let's see. Let's go back. Nope. Let's close this guy. Yeah. So cluster auth provider. Is that it? Doesn't look like it is, but oh, there you go. So valid values are AWS, Azure, Google Service Account, OIDC Service Account. Oh, so I would need a server. I thought it would. What is the local kubectl proxy then? Why did you give me that option? So let's do service account. We'll probably need more information there. Service account token. I don't want to set all those things up. Why wouldn't? Oh, this is AWS. Okay. Sorry, cluster locator methods. Oh, it's here. So, kubectl proxy, and then we don't need this one, right? I think that's where it was. Oh, no, it failed. But so missing required config value at Kubernetes service locator method dot type. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's see. So one cluster. Oh, okay. So I was missing this one. So let's do service locator method type. Well, let's just do single tenant. Single tenant. What is the difference? So configures how to determine which clusters a component is running. So this component configures that all components run on all clusters. That's multi-tenant. And the second one is saying that this configuration assumes that current component runs on one cluster, which is, how is that the only valid value? I don't get it. Did I, whoops, single tenant, right? Type multi-tenant. Yeah, I'll ignore that. Or maybe the multi-tenant is the default one. I don't know. Didn't fail. All right, that looks good. Looks promising. So let's sign in. So we're signed in, I think. What? All right, we are. There's Kubernetes. There's nothing there. Need to add the component. I did. So did it fail somewhere? Maybe there was an error I missed. Let's see. It did initialize Kubernetes plugin. There's no errors. So why is it local dash, and I'm still calling it that name? The annotation is missing. You need to add the annotation to your component. Add the annotation to your component YAML. Oh, because it's my node app and I was adding it to like HTTP bin. Okay, so let's do that. So where's my node? Oh, that's in GitHub, right? Yeah, it's in GitHub. So over here, yeah, let's do it here. Let's go back. This one. So annotations. Boom. Oops. Commit. How do I? Oh, okay. Pull request, and I'll approve it. What? What did I do to myself? The heck? Branch, where's the protection rules? There we go. Should be able to merge it now, right? There we go. Merge, confirm. All right, so now this should read it at some point. Oh, refresh maybe? Oh, it was scheduled. All right, I don't know how long it takes. There you go. All right, so it did. So it did recognize. So if I go Kubernetes, it's saying no Kubernetes, no resources on any known clusters for my node app. So how do I tie this back? You know, do I have to have anything on like on the Kubernetes deployment as well? Probably, right? So it knows to tie it back somehow. Let's see, do configuration. We have that. Ah, there you go. So no, there are many other. Okay. No. Let's see. Service account, auth, no, Okta or OIDC. How do I? Oh, there you go, right? There are two ways to surface your Kubernetes component. The label selector. Okay, so we added this. Okay, so we added this one. This will cause the entities Kubernetes to say, oh, okay, so let's say, let's try this. So if I would, I'm gonna go here and I'll label my namespace. Oh no, so this has to be added in here. So let's do it there, right? So you can basically say that this will cause the entities Kubernetes resource. Okay, so yeah, we could say, depending how you're deploying things, right? You could say all of my, anything related to my node app is in the default namespace, I'm assuming. So let's see, let's do that. Where was I? Here. So I should see some resources here, right? Let's do refresh. No. So let's do this. Let's do this. So Kubernetes is not showing up on, it is for us. Ah, there it is. Yes. Oh, it has to be a resource. Okay. For get service rated. This probably, right? Yeah, so let's go and I think it's this way. Edit deployment. Let's do HTTP bin first. I'll just do one so I can see if that actually makes a difference. And this would be, whoops, Backstage Kubernetes ID. Oh, come on. Is it local Kubernetes? Yes. I think that, so app name could be different, but if you like to have consistent naming, we can use the same name. Label selector. Oh, and there's also like label selectors here, but let's see if this makes any difference. I'm trying to understand. So Kubernetes tab will not show anything when the catalog info does not match the resource. So add the following label and use the label selector. Okay. So we added this one. Oh, but it's not service entity name, right? I named it as a cluster. Right? So this shouldn't, so the Kubernetes ID is probably not the Kubernetes cluster ID, is the name that you would use for that service in Kubernetes, right? So this is not going to show up. So I probably have to use my node app, but we'll see. Let's see. So if I change this one, my node app, let's save it. Okay. Refresh. And if this doesn't work, then I'll probably have to go and add the other labels. I would think that this should work. Wait, my node. Oh, my node app. That is the name, right? Yeah. It's the name. Oh, and the Kubernetes ID here is my node app as well, right? Should be an example somewhere for this. Maybe I should actually take the time and read it. Let's close this. Kubernetes app name, environment, service entity name, Kubernetes app name. Okay, so app name and service entity name could be different. Yes, so that's the whole My Node app, right? And then the catalog, oh, the catalog then uses label selector, but what is the label? Is it like app name or Kubernetes ID? That's what I don't get. Let's see. No clusters, no resources. Let's see. We'll figure it out. We'll try let's do the catalog info. Oh, wait, there you go. So this is, but why would what is Kubernetes label selector? What is the label here? What am I selecting? Catalog info annotations. This is just a component, right? So it would be the same. It's the same component as this one. So it doesn't really, which I have, but I just don't know. Oh, okay. Let's try this one. So let's do this on. Oh, it's on this guy, right? So let me remove these. But what is this actually selecting? Is it selecting the service entity name or what is it selecting? It should be like this. Or is this actually like the Kubernetes? Let's see, what is, oh, this is the same thing. Oh, there you go. Oh, you can write your own custom label selector query that Backstage will use to look up object similar to selector review the. Oh, okay. So yeah, so that's what's missing in those docs, right? So there should be whatever I have, right? Show labels. So let's do app equals HTTP bin. I think this should be enough, but you could add more, right? There's no, yeah. Okay. All right. Oh man, we're over an hour already. Yes, there you go. All right, so it was the label selector, which actually like takes the key value pairs as a string uh, to select whatever you're running in your Kubernetes cluster. Yep, there you go. Nice. So it does recognize that, like it recognizes the cluster. There's one pod. Yeah, and then I'm assuming if I would scale it up, let's see, where is it? I scale, deploy, HTTP bin. Let's do 4 replicas. Let's refresh. There you go, 4 pods, and then service. Yeah. So this is just. I don't think there's. I'm curious if there's more to the Kubernetes plugins, or is that all? I mean, I'm not complaining that that's all that you get, but so clusters. Oh, so I should see the clusters somewhere as well, right? Oh, I see it here. Okay. I could have multiple of them, right? My node app. Yep. And this is really nice, right? It's just, I think it takes time to like hook everything up and thread the needle, I guess, to connect everything, all these things up. So, oh, that's awesome. There's still a lot of stuff that I didn't go through. So let's see. We went through this. So we configure the integration, albeit local, right? Uh, Authentication doesn't matter since we're running local. Strategies. This matters when you have like actual production clusters running. There's more to all this. I'm curious, since I have Istio installed, I'm curious if there's any like Istio plugins. Search Istio. Nope. Nope. All right. I thought there would be something, but all right. I think I'll stop here because it's like we're going on for an hour and a half almost. But I'll definitely go. I'll continue this. I'm thinking maybe just do a. I don't think there's much to share, to be completely honest. Like in terms of code, um, so I'm not gonna like if you want me to share the repo of like the actual Backstage instance that I have, I'll share it. But looks like there's not much to it. It's all like pretty much what was already there. Uh, but what I'll do is I'm thinking next time, whenever that is, maybe probably next week. We can do that next week. I'll go through some more. Like I want to look at the templates. I want to figure out maybe start with a like with actual some applications and have them running in Kubernetes and actually set everything up properly, right? And then, or maybe just look at the like the templates and how to write plugins or something like that. So that could be useful and interesting. All right. Anyway, thanks everyone who stuck around, and I'll see you next week. Bye.